Oh my God, the market is bullish. It's so high up there. Guess what, guys? That's what happened in this training. The market was so up, but now we don't know what to do. Do we continue going? What do we do? And guess what? This happened 3 times in the last 2 months, and we predicted it every time, just like we do in this training. I want you to take a real good gander at what we do here, how we look at the news, how we look at specific indicators to just say, hey, market's about to go down and we're about to make money. The last thing you want to do is be late to the party, because that's really how you lose money, is when you're late to the party. We're going to show you exactly where the proper entry is, and guess what? You'll be able to go back and see how well we predicted it. So pay attention, and again, if you like what you see and you want more of these trainings, you know what to do. Click subscribe, join our community in the description. Enjoy the training. Hello everybody, welcome. Jim, Jeff, and Javid. All 3 J's are in the building. And of course we got Shariah always joining. Alex, how are you, man? Kelly, Mark, DSOP, welcome. Love the people who come right on time. That's what I'm talking about. Aturi and Cree, both here in the building. Good. All right. What's up? How are you?
Good.
Welcome. Rochelle, how are you? We're about to get started with everybody, including John Kyle. All righty. So we got some stuff to talk about. Did I say Ituria? Am I saying that right?
Iteria.
Ituria, my apologies. Won't get that wrong again. But thanks for keeping me company today. We're gonna get going in 3.5 seconds. Looks like everybody's in. All right. So what we're gonna talk about today, just so you guys know, if there's any kind of background noise from anybody's camera or anything, Chris will put you on mute just to keep it here. But if you need to raise your hand, by all means. We'd love to hear from you. So just letting you know where it is. And if you don't know how to raise your hand, there's a little heart on the Zoom. If you're using a phone, if you're using a computer, you could click the up arrow and it'll have like a little hand gesture there. Or just go like this. I think sometimes it works. Mine doesn't always work. All right. So today I want to talk about something. I sent everybody an invite. I talked about the market overall. Now, what I want to discuss about the market is something else that's happening that we haven't seen recently, but it's going to happen. And I want to make sure you guys are aware of that, because I'm going to show you the technical side of everything. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to show you where sometimes where you have to be careful, where people lose money is in moments like this, because it could look good, but there's another factor we gotta watch. So let's get into this. And Chris, can you let me join? Let me whatever. And can you make me co-host as well if you could? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Perfect. All right, I'm just getting onto my screen here. All right, hopefully, darn it. 1 second here. Just want to make sure we got everything working. All right, very good. Should be able to see my screen now. All right, so I want to go over this with you because this is extremely important. So we're going to first look at just technical side of things, okay? And what I see in the technical side is we discussed last week about this move right here, which we talked about how there's a very strong reversal here. And we talked about a strong reversal here. And of course, we talked about these. So all these moves have been very predictable. Now, based on what we talked about, it's very obvious right now where the market is at, which is right here. We're hitting this ultimate support, which, realistically, if you were in the market yesterday, you would see that it would really mean that it should be coming down to this area. Why this area we speak, right? Well, a couple of reasons. One, we talked about moving day averages. Now, if this is your first time joining, there is a spot I could show you where you could get to other lives and kind of go back to learn more about this. But we really discuss this in a lot of detail where stocks tend to bounce off of these. And if they don't and they kind of break through once in a while, which has happened, it doesn't take long for it to get back up. Okay, so in this case, you could see it broke through, only took a day, 2 days, and it went right back up. Over here, you could see this was a big drop, big drop, which we discussed also. It's yes, this was like considered the end of the world, but we discussed and we looked long term, and I told you when it was here, this is not going to be the end of the world. You'll see it's going to reverse, and literally that week it reversed because people just think sometimes when things drop, which they should be, it's just a correction. We needed that. In fact, it would have been fine if it went up down a little bit more. But now, hopefully, you guys could see that we kind of know what we're talking about here because we've been pretty on point. I want to warn you about something here. So, if you look at this move here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at a smaller timeline just for the people on the cell phones and everything like that. I want to make sure you could see it perfectly. If we put on something called the Fibonacci, you could see here we still have some it's very obvious that coming down to this 557 is almost inevitable. And with everything we've learned, it's great. Now, why do I have a concern? There is one thing that we need to stay away from. And with this philosophy is no news is good news. Because news people try to trade off the news, and that's where the whole gambling thing starts. You don't know if the news is going to be good or bad, and you don't know if the news that's good or bad is going to react with the market a certain way. For example, a couple years ago, I know Apple. Everybody knew that Apple's going to kill it in the earnings. They were just dominating, and guess what? They came up with the earnings, and they were record breaking. Their stock went down because investors expected it. A lot of times when things are already expected, it doesn't do as well. So we just don't know. So the best thing to do is you could guess. You want me to guess? I could guess and tell you, my educated guess, but it really means nothing. It really means nothing. What I will say here, you could see a perfect line. However, something is happening. So whenever you're trading, I always like to go into like Yahoo. So we'll go real quick. I'll type in finance.yahoo.com and you'll see Fed to start cutting rates at last and flag what's next. This is a big news. So this is good news. Okay. This is for the first time now we're going to be seeing the inflation possibly reversing, definitely not increasing. So this is a big deal. Big deal. So when things like this come out, you have to be careful because even though the market is showing that, hey, we should kind of come down first before we continue going up. So there should be a bounce. But when a news comes out on such degree, which the announcement is happening in an hour, this is so two things you got to learn from here. Number one, don't trade too early. Wait till 3:30. Usually you'll kind of see where things are. What's up, Elliot? How are you, man? You'll pretty much
What's up?
know
What's up?
where things are. So 3:30, 3:45, kind of have an idea. Like to me, when I'm looking at this, I'm like, this looks perfect to the downside. Elliot kind of let me know today, hey, bro, did you see the news coming? I was like, well, I'm glad you told me. Let me check it out. When we looked, we see, yep. So, Elliot, we could say this is probably good news, right? Pretty good news. Wow. Um, that's going to affect the stock. So, what we want to do is one, if you see news, hold off. Two, let the news happen and give it some time. Could be a day. So if the news gets announced pretty strong tomorrow, man, this thing could go to the roof. Okay. The other thing we want to look at is so let's just say, it looks good. Now, overall, when we're looking at this chart, it is a very bullish market. Okay. Whether it's a down day or not, you look at the weekly right now, it's look, this is each candle is a week. Not doesn't look too bad. Let's go like a year out. You could see. If you look for over a year, there's a chance it could come down, right? But overall, we don't, especially with these types of announcements, the chances of it tanking, I mean, something has to be like almost like, oh, trick or treat, guys. It's April Fools. We were just kidding about the Fed thing. Like that has to happen. And that has never happened. Who knows? Maybe it will. So you got to kind of pay attention to that. So, so the second thing we also want to discuss is long term. So if you're investing in options, which is what we teach in our academy, the reason we teach options is one, it's if you know how to sell options and do certain spreads, you get a little bit more safe, a lot more safety. Okay, so I did a training last week, and I am going to be filming it this week to redo it for you guys to give you a better understanding on it. But it's safe. The other reason it costs less money. Okay, so but the big thing about options, you're buying time. The more time you buy, the more expensive the options are. So in this case, we're right here right now. And if we need to kind of understand, let's just say we think the feds and all this stuff sounds pretty good. We want to wait for this news to happen. Because guess what? You may think it's going to do something and it may not. Let it go. Okay. If you want to take a chance, take a chance. Because again, just giving you hypotheticals, they could say the announcements are being made, but we don't know how much are they gonna cut it? A lot of people thinking are they have this 50-point number, then they have a 25-point number. If all investors are hoping 50 and they say we're announcing 25, up there goes your now it's a bearish stock. But whatever we do, we wait that day, then you want to invest and you want to invest in something for 30 days. Oh, I was hoping it's going to be more dramatic, but that 30 does not look that dramatic. But yeah, if you guys see it, it's oh, how do I make it
I would
bigger?
say, yeah, boost the font size. There you go.
Yeah, see 30. Okay, I'll keep clicking. In a half an hour, I'll be. So we want to invest in 30 days. This is important, minimum, because here's what happens with options. It's a time decay. So the longer you have it, the less time, the less risk, the less time it has to do what you need to do. So if and only if this thing you think is going to go up, but it went down, we already know that usually it holds these lines. It might go down for a little bit. 30 days, guys, comes down, goes back up. You have 30 days for something to happen. And here's the thing, you don't really have 30 days because once you get towards the end of the time, your options are not worth as much. So you want to be safe in this scenario. This is just a perfect time to really talk about it. I kind of look for moments where we could learn. News will kill you. Watch the
Mm.
news, get into it, and say, okay, cool. Let me just let him make the announcement. Let it happen tomorrow morning based on what I see. Maybe then I could invest. Or even better, wait till the next day. You want to have that patience. I would invest in mornings because you just don't know what's going to happen. Now, if it breaks this is big because now we're breaking a very strong resistance. Now you could ride it. What you don't want to do, this is what I see a lot of people do. Let's just say we look at this area right here, okay? Or even right here. This starts reversing. This shows us a little confirmation. We'll talk about, hey, look, it broke this resistance, invest. We invest, and then everybody else starts talking about the market and the news. Wow, the market is all-time high, high. Oh man, again, look at this. This is great. And then somebody invests here and here. And then they're like, oh, the market is a scam because it went down. Don't be late to the party. Okay. Do not be late to the party. These parties are cool and they're very profitable. This is the only party you're going to go to. You're going to make money, but you need to be on time. Just like whoever was here on time here, great. You need to know that if it breaks here, okay, guess what? Okay, here's, you can see the bouncer waiting right here. You could get past the bouncer right here. Boom, you're in. You're in. But once it goes 1 or 2 days, maybe 3 days, you're just the higher it goes, the more risk you're taking because every stock at some point is going to come down. And it's usually pretty strong in the beginning and starts coming down. You could see it's more exhaustion here. Even though and this was a very, very high moment, but remember, these lines are the floor. They want to come down to those moving day averages. It's just this one right here. Somebody threw this one up and like, oh, and then boom, eventually falls. And sometimes the higher they go, the harder they fall, and then they start bouncing back up. So you want to, at the end of the day, if you could get it at the right moment on top, right moment at the bottom, boom. Now, if you learned the paycheck collector, which is how you really what you could do at that point is set up something like a spread, which is, let's just say you invest in this area. Let me clear the chart. Okay, and this is something I'd recommend if you go to our school here, okay, and you go to classroom, we have the paycheck collector strategy. There's a book on it here, okay? So you could check out the book. If you're new here, click on Stock Predator course, watch this course. I got a new introduction here you could watch. You go through it, we'll give you some next steps right here as well. And of course, if once you watch this, a lot of people been asking about, hey, how do I get more help? You know, we do have some great coaches. Elliot's one of them that really works with you one-on-one. You can book a 15-minute consultation with me or Chris, one of us, to discuss your situation. So just letting you know that if you are interested. So anyways, getting back to this, like I said, we want to right now be very cautious. If we want to set up a paycheck collector, cool. What that means is you create a spread, which is explained in the ebook. Now you have to know where to put it. And what it basically means is if the stock goes up like you wanted it to, you make money. But here's what's cool. Usually if the stock stays still, you make nothing. Here, you still make a consistent amount of money. If it goes down, guess what happens? You're still making money. And this space right here between this moment and this moment is your um, amount of error you could have. Okay, so you could actually be wrong this much and still make money. And even if it goes past it, there's still ways we could control it if we feel like it's going to keep going down. But this is probably your highest percentage of win. In fact, in the training, which I'm going to again release the replay for, I'm going to create a better replay for it. I explained you could see in the platform in Think or Swim, or if you have other platforms, tells you the percentage of winning, which in this case, something like this would be around 90%. 90% win. That's not my number. That comes from the platform. So there's a lot of different ways you could trade this, but you got to know how to read the charts. And again, I would always recommend if you don't know, if you're not sure, if you're kind of, this stuff is not that hard to do, but you need to learn how to do it. And there are no shortcuts. It becomes almost like a shortcut once you learn it, but that's like anything else. Until you actually get it, it doesn't work. And we have a lot of like students here. I'm sure they'll tell you, that have been through our academy. You need the mentorship. You need to watch videos. You need to put the repetition in. And even after you do the repetition, make sure that what you're doing is actually correct. Some people repeat the wrong things over and over again. Just want to stop real quick. Does anybody have any questions about this so far? There's a lot of you in here. Welcome to whoever joined.
Hi.
Hi, what's up, Shariah?
Hi. Okay. About this specifically, I'm one of those people that don't know what to do after they watch the videos. It's like I'm I'm understanding the concepts, but I'm not understanding the application. Do I go into paper trading? What are the next steps after watching your videos? Like you have all of this verbiage that I'm unaware of, and I just want to learn. Is there a video I could go to that will teach me?
Yeah, yeah.
What
No,
do I do?
did you watch the Stock Predator course?
Yes.
You did. Okay, cool. Yeah, so some of the stuff we're talking about is obviously you got to have a little bit of experience because what we've been building off a lot of the things here. Everything I've been talking about today have been built off of the other lives we did. Like the moving averages, all these type of things we talk about have been built off other pieces. So that's
Okay.
big. Um Oh, Chris. Okay, got it. So that's a big part. The other part, sometimes people get it. Some people, a lot of times, you you might see it once or twice. You just need repetition. Repetition is big. So if there are things you don't get, I would say definitely like talk to Chris. Give us the things, and we could always make videos for it for sure.
Mhm.
That would be a big help. But usually what I try to do on these, if you join every live, we went over certain things. Like for example, what give me is there a specific thing about this you don't get?
Um, it's kind of like I'm understanding the words that are coming out of your mouth, but I'm not completely grasping the concept. It's
Let me
like there's
ask
no
you
light
something.
bulb.
Okay, well let's get your light bulbs and we'll go Home Depot or something. Actually, we got Tesla guy here. He might have some cool ones with some great battery life. What's up, Tim? How are you, man? So I will say this much. I believe you watched this because you've been joining us. A- After every live, have you tried to apply it yourself and do it yourself?
No, I've not had the time. Like that's the thing. I need to start paper trading. I need to start applying this said knowledge. Where do I go?
I
Like,
just had a
what strategy? Not necessarily what strategy do I use, but like what now?
this is a good question for everybody. I'm going to explain because I had a meeting with my coaches today. And one of the things we discussed is we have people in our academy who learn, who understand and all this stuff. But we ask the same question every time. And this is not just you, Shirai. This is 90% of people, almost I would say 90%, even the people who they just don't take their action. So during your session, like now we what we do with our coaches is they will challenge you to do it here. I can't do it with a big crowd like this. That's why like one-on-one is a little easier, a lot easier.
Mhm.
If that was me one-on-one with you right now, we're stopping everything. It's like, okay, Shirai, you click the buttons, you show me. And what's cool is if you guys don't know, Thinkorswim has a time machine, which you could go put in a trade and boom, you could see what's going to happen in a couple in 1 minute. You'll see what happened in the last week and see how much you would have made, how much you would have lost. If you're not doing it, you could listen to this all you want. And I always tell people before one of the reasons we have a consultation call is we want to make sure you understand. Just because you join an academy does not mean you're going to be a great trader. If you apply the things you're learning, you got to be able to apply what you're doing. It's like going to school and listening to your teacher, but never doing any homework or never actually putting the action into it. Can't help you. Can't help you. So there's nothing that's going to you could invest $1 million into something. It doesn't matter. You need to be able to watch this and today, while it's fresh in your head, say, okay, let's apply it. Let's apply it. If you don't have time, I'm not gonna yell at you. Okay, I'm gonna yell at you. No, no. No, but that's where the self accountability comes in. Another reason, somebody asked me the other day, okay, why do you have this academy? Like, why don't you just trade? I love helping people. The biggest thing we learn, accountability. If you don't have if you don't have somebody holding you accountable, or if you're not holding yourself accountable, some people have a problem with that. But it's like like I talk about fitness a lot of times. I had a fitness coach before. It's I know what to do, but will I actually do it until somebody gets on me? I don't know. But a lot of us know what to do. We just don't practice enough to do it, or we do practice and then we stop. But with this, have to. You have to. People fail for that reason. We have a very, very high percentage of people. Like we have a guarantee in our program because we say if you do what we tell you and you don't make money, well, no problem. We'll let you out. We've never had to do that because you follow the formula. What happens is we have a small percentage of people who, oh yeah, what you just said, I don't have time. I knew you were gonna say that. No, not because it's you. It's just what happened. Something came up. Oh no, no, it's because of this. You gotta. If you want to do this, and you've been on lives consistently, so I know you want to. You got to commit yourself to saying, okay, here's what I'm going to do. Here are the things I'm going to do. I'm also going to be releasing some video courses more extensively in this group too, probably in a week and a half.
Mhm.
That's going to be really a foundational build for people. to get to that next level as well. But I could tell you from the ones we've had already, because I know you've been on them, you should have some sort of knowledge here that and be able to do little things and start kind of understanding the lingo. Because I don't in the very beginning, if you remember, I didn't use any lingo. I was saying, look at these little boxes, and we built up to moving averages, candlestick, things like that. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, so what I'm getting from this is I should rewatch some of the lives so I can get some of that foundational some of those foundational things that weren't
And
um
when you're rewatching it, I'm going to tell this to everybody here. There's a decent amount of people. I always have this on me, so this is me. I'm very gadgety, but I have like a little whatever these tablet note thing. Um, always take notes. And when you're talking, a lot of times when you guys are talking, I'm seeing. I might do a quick note here because if when I'm watching something, if I'm taking a course, I'm always taking notes. Not that I'm ever going to use those notes forever. When you're writing, it's going to help out. That's why a lot of people like do this in the car. That's good if you're repeating this or something like that. But long term, it doesn't stick, and you're just kind of wasting time. So take notes as you're listening. Pause it, take notes, pause it, take notes. Guarantee that's gonna help big time. Big time. Like 80% retention rate compared to just like 10% if you're just listening. Because your brain cannot take all that information in. It's like
okay.
trying to drink from a fire hose. It's not gonna happen.
Okay. So look at the past lives, figure out have the foundation and then I'm interested in looking into the pickup collector strategy like later on, I guess. Do I look into so I get the foundation and then start playing around and like just doing things on my own with paper trading and then try to call one of y'all?
Yeah, right now, yeah. So what you want to do first is do something. Trade. I could even provide you if you want. There's something in our academy. If you're interested, just I'll make sure Chris will get you one of our trading logs, and
Okay.
we could put that in for you, and
Yes.
so you could start putting in trades. Because I will tell you, first thing I ask any of my students, I didn't get this part of. Okay, can I see a trading log? Well, I didn't do it. There's the problem. We had a student recently. He came in, his name is Josh. I don't know if he's probably not here right now. He's usually in our inner circle groups, but he put in like 150 trades or something. Was it 150? Oh yeah, I don't remember. But it was the kid's killing it. Like really doing an amazing job. Like I usually when we'll do like an inner circle group, I'm like, what are you trading, Josh? Let me quickly write these down. He picked it up quick, but I've never seen somebody not get it who actually puts in the work and does the trade. I've never seen it. Never. Maybe Elliot, you train a lot more people now.
No, that's accurate, man. I think he had like 100 something trades, excuse me, in 2 months, and he was
Mhm.
including those on demand feature trades too. So he really like fast tracked the whole learning progress.
Yeah, and that's huge. And again, this is a lot of. I know we're going like a little bit off track, but not really. Mindset is the biggest factor. Like that was the number one reason somebody would not do good in our course because we went through a. I had my wife. She does a lot of does an onboarding. She takes care of the customer service. I asked her to ask people what the situation is. The only reason people do not do the number one reason is something suddenly came up. That's big. SSCU. That's what I call it now. It's the new university. SSCU. Something suddenly came up. I couldn't do it. Had something going on. Okay, and listen, we'll extend them. We'll work with whoever. That's number one reason. Number two reason, they're watching. We had a student recently. I'm watching. I don't get it. Did you take notes? No, I watch it while I work, and I'm on a Zoom call with somebody. Okay, well, that could be a reason. Like you have to
Mhm.
engage yourself because this isn't. If it's online, you have to have that kind of. So that's number two. Number three, they watch it, they understand it, they don't apply. That's the third reason.
Okay.
So like,
Okay.
I'll tell Elliot. We told him today. Him and we have another coach, Erin, and she's not here right now. But she, we talked about it today. No, you have to show me today, right now. Like if we were doing a one-on-one, and because I need to know, because you think you don't know. We had a student recently again. She joined my course. She joined my live. We actually did a one-on-one, and she's like, "No, Vlad, I don't get it. No, Vlad, I don't get it. Do it. I don't care. Throw something out." And she did perfect because she was not used to applying. She learned. She was been with us for 3, 4 months, and like I think she gets it. And then she just never. She's scared to do it on her own. That was a fear. Then we learned, oh, some people just want somebody there to tell them what to do. No, we're gonna figure what your weakness is, and we're gonna pry it and say, no, 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 you're not gonna be scared. Because the goal is not for you to need us. The goal is for you to say, wow, I know exactly what you do. I've done it and it works. Okay, I don't need you no more. Not the best thing for business, but at the end of the day, that's the philosophy we have. If we take our time and teach it to you the right way, it works every time. I mean, we've done this what 5 years now, so it's not we're not new to this. Statistically speaking, and that's why the first question I asked you, did you apply it? I'd be shocked if you told me, yes, I did. Here's my 25 trades. I did them here, here, here. Doesn't work. Okay. Then at least we could work with that. But usually people who applied, they would have learned from each live, from whatever it is that we're doing. Because if you take a course, it's going to be the same thing. No matter what course you take, it'll sound good to you, and it's just, and all of a sudden doesn't stick.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm taking notes with this live right now. Should I be?
Yeah, notes is
Okay.
amazing. Notes is a great thing. Like some people don't take notes; they don't have to. Some people already are experienced. They kind of join here. Sometimes the community is a big thing too. So I'll tell you another reason some people do great and then they stop. That happens too. We've had
Mm,
some students I've seen, they kill it. And then it's like, I mean, we had this lady in the I forget her name now. She made like 90 grand in 3 months. I was like, whoa, that's incredible. Like, we don't tell you you're gonna make that. It was just she did an amazing job. Never heard from her since. I don't know what happened, but I'm not gonna say that's what happened with her. But what we have seen, because I try to look at what my students do, learn from them. They kind of fall from the environment, because when you're in a community, that's why we like
mhm.
community. It's like you're surrounded by these people that care and that want to do it. The minute you get away from that, it's like you're not surrounded by that no more. So it's like you don't really have the motivation to do it. And God forbid someone makes a comment, "Are you doing that stock thingy again? That's gambling." And now it's like, yeah, yeah. So they fall off. So
Mm.
even once you get it, don't think you don't need to be surrounded by this. That's why a lot of people join. Like I see how many times we will go on these lives, and it's like half of them are paid clients already. It's like, okay, great, because they want to be a part of this. They want to know that, hey, I could talk to somebody with a similar philosophy that I go with, and that's with anything. You want to be surrounded by the right people to keep this consistent.
Okay. To end. Yes, to end. Look at obviously finish out this live with notes. Look at the past live, take notes on those. Then on Thinkorswim, do some paper trading and just straight up apply it. See what I like or what I don't like, what it would help with, blah blah blah, and then book a call with my findings.
Yeah, you could, like so the booker call is more of a consultation. Obviously, the one-on-one takes resources. So that would require some finances. I would
Mm,
say do everything to your part to get everything going, and then if you're ready for the big move, I will tell you this much. And this sounds crazy, but when I first started this course, I did it for free for 5 people. One happened to be Elliot's best friend, and none of them are trading now. None of them, I think, had any success except one, Kunal. Kunal was the only one. He paid himself out of college with trading. He's the only one. And
Whoa.
yeah, I think he's one of our testimonials. But he was the only one. The other four, One was my mom. So
Aw.
she doesn't listen to her son anyways. And then 3 other
Mhm.
people we had. And what I learned from that is they did not have skin in the game. It's like, I did it because it was a new business. I didn't want to charge anyone until I had a proof of concept. That was kind of the thing. One of my first
Yeah.
students charged was actually Elliot. Poor guy.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh, that's a blessing.
but the big thing is you have to have skin in the game to be committed. Not that it's the only thing. We've had people pay us and just never show up. I'm like, Chris would ask me, like, I keep calling him. They don't complain, but it's like, well, we don't want to take your money. Like, we want you to do the work. So committing
Mhm.
to something is important. Having some skin in the game is important, but it's a combination of all those things. And notice we're not talking about stocks. And I'm not just talking to you here. The reason I'm taking so much time with you is there's 25 other people on here who are probably have similar situations. That makes sense. So
Mhm.
that's what I will tell everybody here. If you have listened to things and you haven't done anything, think about how much time have you really, be honest with yourself, sat down, said, "Yep, I'm going to do this. I don't care if I fail. I don't care if I lose $100,000. Who cares? It's fake money. If you have the tools, you could join Charles Schwab. Okay, I don't even think you need money. I'm pretty sure because I think you don't need money. It's a free thing. It's a free time machine. I could lie to you and say, hey, pay me $50. I'll get you on the platform. It's free. I'm not asking for it. It's not mine. Okay. Join it, use it, show me. If you get on this call, and this is what I would do for the people who are not part of our academy, you should be like, okay, this guy thinks he's going to charge me. Cool. I'm going to ask him some questions on this live. Ask me, but I'm not going to answer it if I don't see you doing work. But I have no problem answering people's questions. Bring something to me. Say, hey, I did this trade. Put me on the spot and say, this is what I did. I used your stuff, but look what happened. Show me. Then what's going to happen is you're going to learn.
Okay, quick question.
Yes, sir.
Do you like to trade futures at all, or do you guys teach futures or just strictly options?
Good question. So we have Leo, one of our coaches. I think he trades futures, right, Elliot? I believe.
Yeah,
So
more so day trading them. Yeah.
yeah, so we try to. I don't have anything against it. The concepts we teach were. So he started with us, learned options. He was big. He really wanted to learn options. Eventually, he still trades mostly options. Once in a while, now he's more of an aggressive. He likes the aggressive part and the passive. So he's a little bit of both. But he trades futures for like more aggressively. He uses the same concepts to trade futures because it's still the same kind of thing.
Mhm.
I don't like it because it's a little too volatile. It really depends on the psychology of what you want to do. If you like that day trading kind of like, let me get in, get out in the morning, boom, boom, boom. Great. A lot of our people here, they have like jobs, they're busy and they want something that's a little bit more, hey, can I just put in a trade and wait a few days? So not passive, but semi-passive. But it really depends. So that's why I don't teach it because it's a little harder to get people to do it safely because it's very addictive for some people. It's like, oh, look, you could just get in. They'll make a quick buck, and then they think it's going to happen every time. You have to have a personality for it. But this is what we teach is the basics. Then we go into options, really get all that down, and then a lot of what happens then is people organically kind of like, for example, we have some people who like that. I don't do that, but Leo does. So why am I going to teach it when Leo has the passion for it? So he would take that client and say, hey, you know what? He's been with us this long. He wants to do this. I'm not going to force anyone to do something like that. But if you're interested in it, I'm going to give you someone who's good at it. I wouldn't tell Elliot. Elliot doesn't trade future. I don't think you do. Maybe in the
No.
future he'll trade futures. Who knows? But we're in the past. So I would say, hey, Leo, he's the man. I've watched him do it. He's really good at it. He has a passion. He loves teaching it. Cool. So he'll have a few clients who say, yeah, I want that. A lot of clients, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Let me stick to something simple. Let me stick to more of a slower pace or swing trading or something like that. So like we'll do swing trading, we'll do spreads, we'll do those type of strategies that are safer that you have a lot of control over. And if you go to your work and you have a job, and plus, especially if you have a very successful job, we don't want you to have issues with it because now you're emotionally distraught because something's going on. Those strategies work better for that. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. One other quick question.
Yeah.
Then with the options, what type of a level options trading account do you need to have to do your guys' system? Like a level 2, level 3, level 1?
You need level first. So in the beginning, it's you could do fine with level 1, right? Which is
Yeah.
just trade calls and puts. If once we start going to paycheck collector, then you need level 3. So you would what I think from what I understand, Robinhood would want you to take a test or something like that. And I mean that's pretty not too bad. You just have to answer the question like about experience and things like that. So they'll give you the level you need. If they don't, you could they'll ask you some questions. If you learn what we teach, I mean they're really basic questions to get you to level 3. But yes, you would need level 3 because they are spreads.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Okay, yeah, 'cause I use Webbull right now as my brokerage since
Webull.
or Webull, excuse
Yep.
me,
Yep.
Webull
Uh-huh. Yeah, so Webull, what level are you?
2.
Okay, yeah, I think I've had people in the past. I personally like Webull. So when you're doing spreads, the problem with so again, I Thinkorswim is great for learning. Phenomenal. It's a great system. But the 65 cents commission per option, not a fan. So I love Webull. I've traded Webull for a while. I love the commissions because I don't think there are any or like virtually nothing. So, and they're very similar to the Thinkers. They just don't have the time machine or really a good program for that. But I don't think they're that hard to get level 3. I
Okay.
could be wrong. It's changed. I haven't had to do it, but I haven't heard any complaints because I know we have people doing Webull. I know people. I tell people once you learn what we do, don't waste your money. Go to Robinhood, go to Webull. Unless they start charging commissions, they haven't. With someone like Thinkorswim, they're owned by Charles Schwab. There's a lot of overhead, brick and mortar, so they can't afford that. So they obviously can't. But these companies, they're giving it to you for free. That's going to save you ton of money, ton of money. And I think you could get approved pretty soon. I would ask. I think there's a thing in your app where you could ask to get approved for that.
Much appreciate it.
No problem. Nick, right? It was Nick.
Yes.
Appreciate yeah, guys. If you have any questions, please, you're more than welcome to ask. This is a open forum for you. Love to hear from anybody. Anybody else have anything? New. Okay. All right, cool. So and real quick, guys, so what I am going to tell you, and to help Shariah here too, in the coming future, what I am going to do is we are going to have some courses that are part of our academy, and I'm going to release it to this group. It's probably going to be a little bit of an upcharge because they're like from beginning to end, and we're probably going to provide some extra stuff for you. We'll be, we're just trying to figure out what's the fairest way to do it. So if that's something you guys are interested in, let us know. I would love to hear your feedback on it. But it's something we're trying to do right now to help you guys, to give you a real understanding, to help as many people as we can. But I will tell you, the news looks good. It looks like if they're cutting, right, what did they say? They're going to be cutting the interest rates by with the 25 or 50.
Yeah, that's the speculation of, are they going to do anywhere between 75 and 25?
Okay.
75 seems extreme, but who knows?
Yeah, which is pretty good for a lot of things, obviously, in housing and things like that. So, but yeah, what I would say, going back to this lesson today, news. Do not think you are smarter than the news, because you may get away with it and you may make some good money on one of the plays and then you get rocked the next play. It's just hard. It's just really, really hard to make sure that you kind of know what the news is going to do, or how it's going to react. Unless you have some sort of a inside information, then you have other problems trading that. But it's just too difficult to do. So just try to let others try to figure it out. Because again, majority of people do lose money on the market because they're doing things like that. Once it calms down, we'll look at it together. Again, the chart looks, anybody here has joined, you'll see we predicted almost every move to a T, and we'll, so there's a reason for that. So we'll continue doing that. And just real quick, let's just look at it one more time. And just so we could see now it's 1:45. You could see we're still in this area. We're waiting for the news. It's going to happen probably 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is. See what happens. Most likely, I'm going to guess, just a guess. This is totally guess. Don't think it's going to happen. But probably we'll see a little bit shift to the top first, just because if they announce something, but then we'll see a little bit of a downturn too. So, but we want to see. Okay, because what I don't want you doing, this is the number one thing, please avoid. If usually when we see this break, this is a great thing. So if you don't want, didn't realize the news and this breaks, it's like, whoa, okay, we're doing great. But because of something like that happening in this moment and the news gets announced, that could be a quick up and then right back down because it wasn't a real breakout. A real breakout would be, just another day, another dollar, and then boom, something happened. Okay. So please be careful with that. Let's just wait till tomorrow, not 9 a.m., not 9:30 a.m. or 10, wherever you guys are at. But let's just wait till I gotta start remember everybody's not on the East Coast. Half hour before the market closes. Okay. So when I say 3:30, that's half hour before the market closes. Cool. God had a good stuff. Anything else, guys, today? Next week, just so you know, we will go over excuse me. We're gonna look at what happened. So it'll be like a little sequel. Like once the market hit. Now, if something cool, really cool happens and we see it, I'm gonna update you guys with a quick video. I'll post it on the community as well. And if you guys can, we would love more people to join that are interested in trading. Tell your friends. We do want to grow the group. But don't give it to anybody. Don't be like, hey, here's. If someone's really interested and needs some help, we would love to have some of your friends join, and so you guys could do it together. And of course, like I said, if you have any interest in joining, I would check out the Predator course. Chris is going to put a link below. We always do that. We had some of you guys ask some great questions on these calls. Chris goes over that with me all the time. We have this link right here. Just so you guys see, I want to show you here. We have these calls available. If you click, you just put in your information here, and that's it. There's nothing. Oh, so we do ask some questions. People are asking about that. We ask questions so we could see what your situation is. Then we get on a call. It's a lot easier for us to really help out. So and see what we could do for you and which way we could direct you. And the link I think is right there for you. Any questions from anybody? It's been a pleasure, Tim. Thank you for. There's always that one guy who helps me. Who kind of makes you feel like the screen talks back. Shariah, thank you. Nick, thank you.
Hi. Hi. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yep, we hear you.
Okay, but Thinkorswim is paid? I got confused with that one.
No, yeah, you do have to if you want to invest in them. Obviously, you need money, but to sign up for them,
Yeah.
you could just sign up and do everything like a paid client, but you don't necessarily have to put money into it. And then when you log in, I could show you here, but when you start logging into it, it's going to give you a little check mark, like a little toggle, and it says, "Do you want to do paper trading, real money?" You could click there.
Oh, okay.
But if you want to do the time machine, you have to click on real money, and there's a button there that says on demand. I'm trying to see if I could log into it. If not, I'll make sure maybe make a video for it. But yeah, let me see if I could, because that to me is a must have. Everybody should have that. Everybody
Okay.
should have the DeLorean installed on their computer. Because you could really, whatever it is you want to practice, you practice and you don't have to wait. That's killer, because that's the only thing I don't like about paper trading. It's like, okay, I put in a trade and I have to wait up. Nope, I didn't do it. So, okay, week later, we'll figure it out. Here, nope. 2 seconds later, you could put money in, invest, boom, boom, boom. It's like the ultimate monopoly.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's taking a while, but yeah, if you install Thinkorswim, you go into Real Money. On the top right, there's a button called On Demand,
Mhm.
and you could just click on it. It goes right in there, and now you'll have like I think they give you like 100 grand. You could change it whatever you want.
Yeah. There other because like I don't want to put in real money once if I don't know what I'm doing. So are there other paper trading like platforms that are relatively, I'm not saying like instant, but like relatively speedy that I could learn with?
What do you mean? Like platforms?
Yeah, or another place that I could go and paper trade, but like I can learn like
I mean,
within
this
the
one's good. Kelly said Tasty Trade. I mean, I've used Tasty
Mhm.
Trade. They're strictly for options, I believe. But do they
Okay.
have they have a time machine, Kelly? They have like an actual, or I know they do paper trading, but do they you could actually go back in time with it? I don't know if Kelly's there. But
Oh,
yeah, I have used Tasty Trade in the past. I was okay. I mean, I didn't see a huge their commissions are a little different, but
mhm,
I don't know.
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I never heard of. Do you know if they have a time
I'm
machine?
not sure about Tasty Trades. I know TradingView. As of right now, I know Thinkorswim is the only one where you can actually go back in time and apply options. But there's
Mm,
multiple other sites. I mean, stock charts. You talk about stock charts. It's free on there. You could do the same time travel, but you just can't play the options. But I think it still has value if you're trying to back test and forecast price action, nonetheless.
Yeah.
okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, sounds good. I
Mhm,
appreciate it. Other than that, everybody, I appreciate everyone's time today. Thank you, Tim. Thank you. And we will see you guys next week. Again, all the links, Chris, I believe, provided for you guys. If you need anything, it's right there. Talk next week. Elliot, adios.